Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing. Today we're looking at the latest Battlebox for Warhammer 40,000, Wrath of the Soulforged King. So first of all I want to say a massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us a free copy a little bit early to do a unboxing and review with. This is a box that excites me very much because it pits Vashtorr, the Archivane, against the Dark Angels led by Azrael. So two awesome new models within this box and some armies to go with them. Now if we flip this over, for Vashtorr, this is an interesting one because he seems to come with a small Chaos Space Marine force, maybe leaning more into the Demon Engine side, which kind of fits his bill. I think unfortunately for the time being we're probably not going to have a full fleshed out Dark Mechanicum army for him, so I suspect that he's going to be a character that can be taken alongside other Chaos armies. But yeah, he's the main kind of draw for the Chaos side of this box, but then so are the Obliterators and Venom Crawler. I know this has been a highly sought after sprue, and it is contained in this box along with some Chaos Cultists. And then on the Dark Angel side we've got Azrael looking absolutely awesome in his new model, and we've got some Deathwing Terminators and some Intercessors. So in this video we're going to be having a look through the contents, checking out all the kits, looking at all the frames and everything, looking through the rules for them too, because there will be a little narrative kind of supplement in here too. And then towards the end of the video we'll have a look at the completed models that hopefully we'll have built and painted, certainly built. I'm planning on getting Vashtorr built for the end of the video, so definitely going to have some paint on him for the end of the show, so stick around for that. But yeah, without further ado, should we crack this open and have a look at what is inside? So yeah, I've been really looking forward to Vashtorr coming out ever since we read about him in Arks of Omen Abaddon, and yeah, this is the first place to get him. I suspect that he will be available by himself separately following this box, but at the minute this is the place to get hold of him. So we got a load of bases, we'll move them out of the way for now. There's some older frames in here mixed with some new ones, so let's have a look at the old ones first, just quickly get those out of the way. So we have got the Venom Crawler and Obliterator sprue. So obviously this is a very popular one for Chaos Space Marine armies. It is still a decent unit to take in the game. The Obliterators in particular are quite strong now, and the Venom Crawler is pretty good too. I hope that Vashtorr kind of leans into the more Demon Engine stuff. By law he creates the Demon Forges where these are built, so if he does get fleshed out into his own faction, I'd love to see him you know, perhaps have elements from those Chaos Space Marine units that he can take, but his own kind of infantry maybe. Obviously at the minute I think it's just going to be Chaos Space Marines, but we'll see if there's any special army construction rules. We then get 10 Intercessors in here as well, so we've all seen these before, but you get the full 10 model kit to be able to use for your Dark Angels, and on that you also get 2 Dark Angel upgrade frames as well, so you can build the entire squad with Dark Angel iconography too, moulded onto the shoulder pads, and there's a few other little kind of like helmets and details and gubbins on there that you can use to make your units look pretty. The final old kit that we have are the Deathwing Terminators. So this was, I believe they get two builds in here, close combat or ranged, if I remember rightly. Maybe not, maybe they're just the one range weapon on there, but they've certainly got some different range close combat options on them, and it's still a nice kit. It's an older kit, but it still stands up. Same with the Deathwing Knights kit. That's also a pretty good kit. That obviously it's an older one, but it still works for the Dark Angels. I do wonder, there are rumours circulating about, you know, new Dark Angels and stuff in the future following this. Maybe the potential return of the Lion. So will we get any new, you know, Primaris sized kits to go alongside this? Only time will tell. We'll see soon. And then finally we do get a sprue of cultists in here as well. These are the newer cultists, so the sprue that was released alongside the Codex and not the one out of Blackstone Fortress. So yeah, sprue of cultists. But what we really want to see are the awesome new kits. So first of all, we'll have a look at Azrael. And he looks very nice indeed. Such a cool kit. Yeah. I've never done a Dark Angels army myself, but been very tempted with this model. Now Dave will be building and painting this up for his Dark Angels. He's planning on getting some Dark Angels done in anticipation of the rumours for the new edition on the way. So yeah, hopefully at the end of the video we'll see how Dave has done on building and painting him. But the model that really excites me in the box is Vashtorr the Archivane. So this is the guy who is on a bit of a plan to become a chaos god himself, and that's pretty exciting. They kind of like updating the lore regarding this. You know, will this be the Dark Mechanicum equivalent faction? I suspect if we do get it, but probably won't be called the Dark Mechanicum, and it will be kind of more leaning into kind of Vashtorr himself and his own personal kind of force. Maybe he'll get his own demons. Weird kind of techno stuff would be really good. I mean, there's so many cool little details on his model that I think they could do some really nice stuff. You know, maybe alongside all the kind of demon engine kits and stuff that we've got. Gives him a bit of a range already. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how that goes. And again, at the end of the video, I'll have this guy built and painted so you can see what he looks like. That's not everything in the box though. So we'll pop open this, and inside we have got the Wrath of the Soulforged King supplement, which we'll look at in a little bit. We get a sheet of Dark Angel transfers. I believe they're the old ones, so no new ones in there, but they've got all your iconography for your Dark Angels. You get bases for everything in the box. And finally, before we go to the supplement book, we'll have a look at the assembly instructions for the kits in the box as well, and just see if there's any you know, alternate builds of some of these kits. I think Azrael has got a helmeted or helmetless choice on him, which is pretty cool. So if we open this up, as ever with the recent kits, you get a really handy size chart that tells you what bases you should be using. Makes life a little bit easier for building these kits. And then yeah, straight onto the assembly instructions. Vashtorr looks like a really fun one to build. I honestly don't know whether it's going to be worth having him in sub-assemblies or not. I'll report back at the end of the video. I'm probably going to build him all in one go, but if I do find that maybe it would have been easier with separate arms, or with you know, the wings separate maybe. With them not having any like membrane or anything, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but I shall let you know how it goes. Again, he's got a bit of a sculpted base, but I don't think there's going to be any like hidden detail, so I think you probably will be able to paint him up fully assembled, so that's no issue. Chaos Cultists we've seen before. They're not too difficult to put together, they're only a couple of parts per model. And the same with the Venom Crawler and the Obliterators. You've probably built these before if you are a Chaos Space Marine player. Going on to the Imperial side of the box, we have got the legend that is Azrael himself, and again you've got a couple of options for the head as well. So I mean, I'd probably go for the iconic kind of like crested helmet, but yeah, you have got some other options there for a helmetless head too. And if you don't give him the helmet, you can have the Watcher carrying that helm. So yeah, lots of little options there, which is cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what people do with it. You get the full options for the Deathwing Terminators, so you can build them either as a Terminator Squad, a Command Squad, or the Deathwing Knights. So whichever variety you want to do, you can build them in here. Sometimes in these battle boxes, they only include the instructions for one of them, but it is the full kit that builds any, so you've got some nice options there. So yeah, again, they're an older kit, we've seen them before. And then finally, we should have the standard Intercessor Squad as well. And again, same old kit, it's the full kit, and you also get included those Dark Angels parts as well to fully kind of customise your guys. So what we're going to do now is have a look at the Wrath of the Soulforged King supplement. So this is mostly lore, covering a lot of what is in the Arks of Omen Vashtorr book. Now over on spruesandbrews.com I do have a full review of Arks of Omen's Vashtorr. I've put some spoilers in there towards the bottom of the post, but I guess the non-spoiler version is that Vashtorr is looking for the final piece of the key that he needs in order to, I guess, unleash his master plan give Abaddon the weapon that he wants, and for him to ascend to godhood. The downside is it is located on the rock, the remnants of the Darker Angels planet turned spaceship. And yeah, he needs to get into the depths of it to find what he's looking for. And this battle box pretty much is set around that battle on the rock. So his forces arriving and doing battle with the Dark Angels. So we get a lot of the lore on all those various kind of hosts involved, the Dark Angels themselves, Vashtorr's forces, and a little bit about the planet. Basically it's kind of a two-pronged assault. There's some fighting going on the surface of the moon, chunk of rock, whatever it is, and there's some battles going on within the kind of depths and the corridors of the rock as well, kind of spearheaded by Vashtorr. And that is pretty much kind of summarised in here. Obviously there's a lot more detail in the Arks of Omen Vashtorr book where we get kind of the full narrative. This is more kind of a slice of one of the battles in there. We also get some really nice kind of painted examples of all the models, including Azrael, who I can't wait to paint up because he looks absolutely gorgeous. And then obviously the Traitor Forces too. Vashtorr I have painted up, so at the end of the video we'll see what he looks like. In fact, I've done all the kind of Chaos Forces in this box. The other thing that we do get in here are the rules for all the models in the box. So Vashtorr and Azrael have got brand new rules. Everything else is just reprints of their old rules from their various codexes. So points wise, Vashtorr is 260 points, Azrael is 170. Vashtorr seems a little bit steep for that. He's got some cool rules. If we zoom in a little bit and have a look at his rules. So what struck me at first is the fact that he has got the Heretic Astartes and the Traitorous Astartes keywords. So at the minute he's very much a Chaos Space Marine character. He does have the Agent of Chaos keyword, meaning that you can take him in any Chaos army without affecting your army build rules. I've got a sneaking suspicion that at some point in the future we will get a unique faction for Vashtorr, that will get some new weird Cult of Vashtorr models, so half demon, half machine infantry, all the weird gribbly stuff like the guys that we saw in Blackstone Fortress. There's lots of artwork throughout the Arks of Omen box, which sadly I can't show on camera, that has what looks to be some new kind of, I guess, demon engine infantry and bikes. There's one which is like a big wheel with a weird kind of demony creature with a havoc launcher for a head and a lance for an arm. So I can see that being like a cavalry unit that Vashtorr's got. There's another piece of artwork showing a demon with like a furnace on its back and a chainsaw. So again, I can see those being units that Vashtorr gets eventually, even if they, I don't know, reprint all the various demon engine data sheets and include that in there as well, because that means they can put out a relatively small release of kits but still have a full-fledged force, because we've got all those existing kits like Helldrakes and Venom Crawlers. And in fact, the stuff that is in this box are the frames out of the Shadow Spear box. So we've got the two Obliterators and the Venom Crawler, and they haven't had standalone kits yet. So it wouldn't surprise me if Vashtorr is kind of the master of all these demon engines and weird abominations and stuff, if they actually get standalone kits when his faction is released and gets a codex. Now again, this is all speculation and I don't know anything, but I have a feeling that is probably the plan. And so at the minute, I suspect these are stopgap rules to let you use him within a Chaos army, even though his own army isn't released yet. And I'm not saying it's going to be in the next few months. This could be, end of the year, next year, ages away perhaps. But I do think he will get a faction, because he does seem to be, from a lore point of view, he's trying to become a new Chaos God and a big player. I can't see him just being a kind of a bit character in the Chaos Space Marine book. He has some cool abilities though. He can pick one of 3 abilities. He can either buff demon engines to give them +1 to hit, which is pretty cool. He can reduce the range of a unit's weapons by half. He has to be within 18 inches of them to do it, so he's probably going to be in range of them, but he kind of protects the rest of his army from being shot at, if that makes sense. And then he also can half the move and attack characteristic of a vehicle. So, I don't know, a knight or something scary, he can just neutralise that. Sadly, he can only use one of those abilities, so he can't use all three of them. So he's got to pick which one he's going to do in the command phase. It's a shame they're not all on at the same time, because that would make him a really cool kind of supportive unit. He's got a pretty cool hammer. So he's got 7 attacks base. He's hitting at strength 14 with it. Minus 2 AP, which isn't the greatest, but it still stings a little bit. And 3 damage. The real kind of like gimmick with it is that if he's attacking vehicles, if he rolls a 5 to wound, it does 4 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. So with 7 attacks, what's that? 28 attacks, something like that. So 28 wounds even. So he can potentially put out a lot of damage to vehicles. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, well, he's not that strong. I mean, he's got 14 wounds, a 2+ save, 4+ invulnerable save. Yes, he's 260 points, but I may be taking him anyway because he's an awesome looking model. And I'm really interested in seeing if he does get kind of a fully fleshed out faction in the future. We then get the other kind of units that are in the box. So the cultists, the obliterators, and the venom crawler. We then get the new profile for Azrael. Now this isn't massively different, but it has had some tweaks. He has gone through the Rubicon Primaris. At this point in the story, he's only just survived it. He's in a very weakened state, but he has to kind of rise to the occasion and fight off Vashtorr, who's kind of infiltrated the rock. So he has gained an extra wound and an extra attack off the top of my head. Other than that, most of his rules were exactly the same, apart from the Sword of Secrets. That is now strength +3, meaning it'll be striking at strength 7, AP -4, and it does 3 damage now. So he is now a really good unit at taking out like elite kind of bodyguard escort units. Very good at taking out characters. He can put out a lot of damage. He's still got his old rules like getting extra command points. He still dishes out invulnerable saves to nearby units. He's a really cool unit and an amazing looking model too. So Dave is painting up the Dark Angel side of this box. So hopefully once they're done, we'll put some pictures up on the website as well. Like I say, at the end of the video, we'll have a look at the Chaos side though, because I've managed to get those guys painted up. And then finally, we get the other units in the box. We only get the rules for the Deathwing Terminators. You can build them as the Deathwing Knights or the Deathwing Command Squad as well if you want to. You just don't get rules in the box for it. I believe the instructions do show you how to build them, so you can build whichever variation you want to do. And then the Intercessors. So yeah, really nice little set. What we'll do now is jump ahead and have a look at the finished models. And here is a look at the completed Chaos Forces out of the box. So we get the Venom Crawler, the 2 Obliterators, and a unit of Chaos Cultists. Really, really nice models. I've painted them up to match my word bearers because I thought they've got lots of demon engines and gribbly demonic stuff, and that fits quite nicely with the kind of the theme of the kind of the Vashtorr half of the box. So yeah, like I say, these sprues, well certainly the Venom Crawler and the Obliterators, were originally in the what they called Shadow Spear box. You can get them separately now on the same sprue, but they don't have a standalone kit yet. So I do wonder if if Vashtorr gets his own faction, whether perhaps they get new kits to replace them. So that is the kind of stuff that we've seen before. Let's take a look at Vashtorr himself. And here is a look at Vashtorr himself in all his glory. Yeah, really, really nice model to build. He went together like a dream and was really, really fun to paint up too. I've kind of gone for the classic box art for him because I think he suits it. The kind of brass and metal, and then the pale skin. There's a pale contrast. I think it's called Dreadful Visage. So use that to just run into the recesses of his skin to give him that kind of pale, sickly, not very well look that he's got. I really hope that he does get more kind of minions to add to his force, and he doesn't stay as just like a special Chaos Space Marine special character, because I think that'd be a real shame, considering what a gorgeous model he's got too, and he doesn't really kind of match the aesthetic of the rest of the Chaos Space Marines, because I think he's very much going to be I guess the Dark Mechanicum reimagined. So rather than just being, you know, the Mechanicum but spiky, I think he's going to have some really weird kind of half demon, half machine, techno horror stuff, which would be really, really fun to see in Warhammer 40,000. Again, like I say, that might not come overnight. It might be, you know, a year off seeing that, but I do think it is going to come at some point. And yeah, I really want it to happen because he looks amazing, and I can't wait to kind of add to his force. In the meantime, of course, over on Warhammer Community, they did release rules for a Army of Renown, so he's very Demon Engine heavy. So obviously in the box we get the Venom Crawler. You could add in some Mauler Fiends, a Lord of War maybe, and go for a real kind of like Soulforge army. It might not be the most competitive in the world, but it'll be really, really cool. So that's what I'm planning to do for him. I think that'd be really, really fun. So yeah, so that is our look at the new Battlebox. Over on spruesandbrews.com, I do have a full review of Arks of Omen Vashtorr 2, kind of looking into the lore, looking into the kind of the gameplay on there. I've also got this unboxing, pictures of all the sprues, pictures of all the kits on there too. At the very end of the article as well, I have got some spoilers too. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you can just jump out before you get to them. I've got a nice little spoiler warning on there. If you do want to get spoiled, I've got a bit of a rundown of the plot and some of the surprises and twists that happen later on in the book. So thank you for watching. We do lots of kind of battle reports and videos and unboxings and stuff like this. We also have a painting stream every Sunday. So if you have enjoyed it, why not give us a follow? We have got a Crusade battle report going up today, I believe, with Chaos Demons facing off against the Leagues of Votann, so that's really fun. We also have a affiliate link to Element Games, so if you order your stuff from there and use our link, we get a little kickback too, which helps support the site, so that'd be much appreciated. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.